Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of None of the Above by I.W. Gregorio. This is a YA contemporary story by our main character, Kristen, who finds out that she is intersex after trying to have sex for the first time with her boyfriend after homecoming. After finding out about her diagnosis, it is leaked to the entire high school, and so she has to deal with not only coming to terms with the diagnosis herself and discovering what being intersex means, but also how everybody else is reacting to her. And everything takes off from there. So this author is actually a practicing surgeon, and her being a doctor really shines through in here with the writing. It really explains everything to you in a way that is easy to understand. It's not really doctor speaky, but you can definitely tell that she knows what she's talking about when she's explaining things within this story. With that being said, this story was still the perfect mix of an actual fictional story and educational elements that a story like this really needs, and I end up really enjoying it. First off, intersex wasn't something that I particularly knew a ton about as far as things on the LGBTQ+ spectrum. I had heard about it in college when I took a human sexuality course, but it was very briefly touched on, and that's pretty much true of a lot of things about intersex. There are only 2 other books about intersex that I even know about that are actually mainstream books. So going into this, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I was really happy to learn a lot as I was reading this. Intersex, for those of you that don't know, is actually a diagnosis that covers a lot of different chromosomal differences, so a lot of different diagnoses can fall under the intersex umbrella. There are a lot of misconceptions about intersex, and since there are so many different diagnoses that fall under the intersex umbrella, that is kind of displayed within here where people don't really understand, Kristen doesn't understand, and her diagnosis really needs to be explained to her. Her particular diagnosis for intersex is that she displays as female, she looks female, she thought for her entire life that she was just biologically female. She has a vagina, but she has male chromosomes, and she also has testes that never dropped, so they're up in her lower abdomen area. But she never knew this. She never knew that she had male and female organs and that she has male chromosomes. So it's really interesting because she was coming to terms with things, she was reaching out to support groups, she was talking to doctors, she was talking to therapists, and it really showed the coming out situation of somebody who is being diagnosed as intersex. With that being said, this isn't indicative of all intersex diagnosis, because like I said, there are a lot that fall under that umbrella, but just even having this one in here was super informative. We got to know a ton educational-wise, we got to see how everybody was reacting, and we got to experience everything along with Kristen. So as far as characters, I liked Kristen as her main character. She was very sympathetic. You understood where she was coming from because, like I said, you're learning about the diagnosis along with her. You're seeing how everybody reacts to her. And I just felt really bad for her situation because she is in kind of a mean girl group at high school, and I just felt for her entire situation as everything was coming out because you just knew that it wasn't going to end up being a great situation once everybody found out. As far as side characters, there are a lot of side characters in here, but you don't really get to focus on them very much. There is a romantic subplot, but it is very minor, so if you aren't into romantic subplots, you won't really be bothered by it in here. I understand why it was put in here, and I thought that it was a good addition, but it's not something that's huge and takes over the story. The story is really her coming out story and everyone's reaction to her coming out, because she's not somebody that knew that she was like this her entire life and is telling everybody slowly. She finds out, and basically the next day everybody else finds out, and she's really reeling from it. So as far as the plot, I thought it was very fast-paced. I always wanted to pick up and find out what was going to happen, and like I said, Kristen is such a sympathetic character that I want to know more, and I wanted to figure out more about this diagnosis and what it meant for her and how she was going to come to terms with things. There are a lot of different issues surrounding intersex that are explored in here as far as what people deal with when they do get diagnosed as intersex and some of the different support groups and things like that. So that was really interesting, and like I said, I really enjoyed her entire experience and getting to see what happened to her throughout her coming out story. The one thing that I would have liked is I really would have liked an addition of an epilogue or something a little bit farther, because we really only get to see the aftermath of her discovering her diagnosis and her being outed and all of that. That is kind of wrapped up, but I would have loved to have seen her in the future a little more, what happens later on when she comes more to terms with her diagnosis, because we really only get to see her over the few months, I think, and I would like to see her kind of in a little epilogue down the road a little bit, what's going on, how she's dealing, stuff like that. But overall, I really enjoyed this story. I liked learning a lot of things about intersex. I think it's a really great book for diversity and getting diverse characters out there, because intersex, like I said, isn't something that many of us know about and isn't something that is really shown in the media at all for representation or anything. So it was really awesome to see that in this book. I gave None of the Above 4 out of 5 stars. If you are interested in learning more about None of the Above, I actually did an author interview with the author on my blog, which will be linked down below, and I'm also going to be giving away a copy of None of the Above. This is not a sponsored giveaway. I'm giving this away personally with my own money because I feel that more people should read this book. I think it's super important for representation, everything else. So if you want to know more about the author and want to enter in the giveaway, the blog link is down below. It is going to be international through the Book Depository. So if you have Book Depository shipping to your country, you can enter, and it's going to be all through Rafflecopter. So like I said, the link is down below and you can go enter that. The winner for this giveaway will be chosen on August 15th. So comment down below and let me know if you have read None of the Above and what you thought of it. I know there are 2 other books, Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides and Golden Boy by Abigail Tree, something with a T, I always forget her last name, but I don't know of any other books that are mainstream that talk about intersex, so definitely comment down below and let me know if there's any that you know of besides these 3, and let me know what you thought of None of the Above. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!